Welcome back to the Girl Out of Order podcast. You have joined us for the first of 4 episodes in Motherhood May. Oh, I've been waiting for this month to come because we have so much that we could talk about when it comes to the topic of motherhood and mothering and just all the ways that mothers and motherhood affects the lives of women. And I could talk about breastfeeding and, different kinds of sleep patterns in elementary school and navigating the empty nest syndrome. I mean, we could talk about anything. And I've chosen a little bit different path this month because we're going to get so many of those beautiful messages from different beautiful places throughout the month. And I just feel compelled to address motherhood a little bit differently starting today with this first episode. Before we dive in though, I just want to reach out and thank everyone who's left us a review wherever you listen to the podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are growing the Girl Out of Order podcast, but we still need your help. Please go on whatever platform you listen to this podcast and just give us a 5-star review. If you can give us a written review, you will help us immensely in getting this message out into the universe and bringing together women around the world. But we really need your help. And if you haven't already joined the Girl Out of Order Facebook community, come on in. Our community is growing by leaps and bounds, but we need what only you can provide. So get over to the Facebook community. Come on in. We're having lives. We're having all kinds of inspiration and sharing. And we are building a collective of incredible girls out of order. But it's just not the same without you. So come on over. And the last very, very exciting announcement I have is on Tuesday, May 7th at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I'm located in Chicago. I am going to be taking part in a panel discussion with my other True Legacy Collective, my TLC sisters, and led by Lauren Lahav. We are going to be speaking. I could pinch myself. I can't believe this opportunity has come up. I am so excited. But we are speaking on a leadership panel for the Los Angeles Tribune Leadership Week. It is a 7-day free conference, and you can access it on Facebook. You can access it on YouTube, and I would just love your support. And we're going to be talking, there are 7 of us on this panel, sisters. There are 7 incredible women on this panel, and then 8 including Lauren. And we all come from different perspectives. We are pub owners, and we are nonprofit runners, and we're leaders in education and business and law. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful discussion. So join us for the leadership panel for the Los Angeles Tribune Leadership Week, Tuesday, May 7th at 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, let's dive into this week's topic. And this is a topic that is very near and dear to my heart. And I'll tell you where it came from. I'll tell you the title first. Let's just dive into that. The title of this message, like I'm giving you a sermon. Well, I kind of am giving you a sermon because I'm going to get up on my soapbox for this one. But the title of this podcast is CEASEFIRE. And I know that is a very powerful word right now in today's climate. I know that it's a very loaded word, but it's also very appropriate for our topic because I am going to be giving you 5 ways that you can help stop the mommy wars. That's right. Motherhood May, you're going to hear all kinds of wonderful topics around motherhood, but I'm going to get a little bit serious for the next 2 weeks. This one is near and dear to my heart because the mommy wars are real, and the outcome of that, the impact on women is absolutely debilitating. Women, listen up. We do so much to tear one another down. And a lot of it starts with these mommy wars. Now, I know we get a lot of it in high school and college, but we outgrow a lot of that. Or do we? Or do we? Because here's the thing. Oftentimes we carry over the judgments. We carry over our insecurities. We carry over our false beliefs about what's right and what's wrong. We carry all of that into our motherhood. And this thing has developed over the years called the mommy wars. And it has to stop. So as we start in the month of May, okay, can we just get real for a second? I'm just going to go on a little bit of a tangent here. Holy crap. If you've ever been a mother or ever known a mother in the month of May, you understand how ridiculous it is that the government put Mother's Day in May. What the hell? What the literal hell? May is literally the busiest month of the year. It's busier than December. And December is crazy with Christmas. May is Looney Tunes. I still make our handmade calendars, although not as frequently as I used to. And I would hand make our calendars. And the month of May, there was so little white space between soccer and track and musical and 8th grade dance and graduations and end of the year field trips. I mean, you name it. It just whoosh. And then let's throw in a Mother's Day tea right in the middle of it because I've got energy for that. And you want to be present and you want to soak it up and you want to enjoy it. But let's get real. It is so unfair that Father's Day is in June and Mother's Day is in May. All right, that's my serious soapbox. Now I'm on a tail end of this parenting journey. I mean, we're always parenting for the rest of our lives, but I'm on the tail end of parenting the minor children. I've got one more year and our last baby graduates from high school. So it's definitely, to say that it's wound down is an understatement. The way that it used to be when we had all four in the home was, I literally look back and I truly have no idea how I ever did it. So mothering is hard enough, right? And mothering in May is crazy. So that's my little tangent here. I'm giving a huge shout out to all you beautiful mamas out there in the month of May. Bless you. Whether you are handling all of the things and all of the schedules and the end of the year parties and let's throw field day in there too. It's crazy. And if you're one of my mamas who is going through those major life transitions, maybe it's your first baby graduating high school, that is a transition unlike any I've ever experienced. Maybe you're going into being an empty nester, which is going to be me in a year. I'm sending you so much love, and I am urging you to stay as present as you can, but listen to the signals from your own soul and love on yourself. Okay, total tangent. I'm bringing it back around to the mommy wars because you're probably wondering what the hell any of that had to do with this. Well, here's the thing. Parenting is so freaking hard. Why do we make it harder? Have you ever watched the movie Bad Moms? If you haven't, seriously, you have to watch that movie. Bad Moms Christmas, you could probably do without. But Bad Moms is it's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, honestly, and maybe because it's so relatable for me. But it starts off with this woman who is happily married, or so she thought. She's in the PTA, she's working a full-time job, and she's basically trying to do it all, have it all, and be it all for everyone. And her husband, she finds out her husband is cheated. And so she then becomes an instant single mom, still working, still doing the PTA, still trying to do all the things. And she has a horrible day. She's running herself ragged. And she just stands up in the middle of the PTA and she says, I am done. I am done. And everyone is so shocked. And she just walks out and women start clapping because in reality, a lot of them were feeling that way, but they were trying so hard to keep up, right? I don't want to say keep up with the Joneses, but who the hell are the Joneses? I don't even know where that phrase came from. They're trying so hard to fit in, trying so hard to contort themselves to fit a mold they were never designed to fit into. And it's girl out of order, sisters. It's girl out of order. We don't do that here. We are learning how to stop doing that. So what does that have to do with the mommy wars? Oh, they are alive and well. Because what happens with the mommy wars is we get these camps of women, these camps of moms, and they go to their corners and they just judge and they demean and they tear down and they exclude. And both sides do it. There's more than two sides. I shouldn't say both. All sides do it. And the reason this is so near and dear to my heart is because I had the privilege of being all three. I was a stay-at-home mom for nearly 10 years. I was a part-time working mom trying to do both. And I was a full-time working mom. And well, I guess I've transitioned to a fourth one. And now I'm a business owner and an entrepreneur. So I'm working from the home, but I feel like I'm working all the time because I'm working my job and building my dream. And here's what I remember. Being part of, I'm going to just use for example for today, I'm going to use the conflict between the stay-at-home mom and the working mom, because that's where I saw it the most stark and the most debilitating. Because when I was a stay-at-home mom, I was part of a very conservative church. A lot of the moms in the neighborhood were stay-at-home moms. And the level of judgment and disdain towards women who had the audacity and the cruelty to drop their children off at daycare and work a job was epidemic. It was in every conversation. I'd be out walking with one of my mom friends and we'd see working mom Sally. I don't know who Sally is, but we're going to call her Sally. Working mom Sally speeding through the neighborhood to get to daycare in time to drop the child off or children off, get to the job to pay her damn bills. And do you think we would be like, well done, sister. Way to work hard. That's amazing how you do all that. No, we didn't do that. I'm ashamed to say we stood with our arms crossed, whether it was physically or not. And we just tisk, 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 tisk. Wow. Look at Sally. She must not love her children the way we love our children. Ugh, just turns my stomach. Turns my stomach. And especially as a part of an evangelical church, a very conservative church where the vast majority of women are stay-at-home moms. And I am not slamming stay-at-home moms because wait until I get to the other side of this. But just hear me out. It was this is the way you do it. This is the best way to raise your children. And if you hand your children off to somebody else, you are just, you know what? I'll pray for you. I'm going to pray for her. I'm going to pray that she wakes up. I'm going to pray that he makes more money. I'm going to pray that she understands the consequences of leaving her children with somebody else. And then there's the subset within that conservative Christian denomination of the homeschoolers. And they're amazing women that homeschool their children. God bless them. I have so much respect for these women that do it. I don't know how. I homeschooled my daughter for a half a semester of preschool, and I almost lost my mind. I thought, the most loving thing I could do would be to send her somewhere else, because otherwise she's not going to be on this earth for very long, because it was awful. And I'm not lumping all of the conservative women. I'm not lumping all homeschoolers. I'm not lumping all stay-at-home moms. So please don't think I'm generalizing. I'm only sharing my experience. But the homeschoolers could not believe we would send our children to secular school. Christian school, okay, that might be fine, but secular school? And it was a lot more of that tisk, tisk. Wow, I'm doing the godly thing. Going to raise up my children. Seriously, though, I love my babies. I would die for them, but they needed to go. They need to get out of the house and they need to go to school. Okay. Now, let's flip the other side. when I went back to work, and I'm going to skip over the whole part-time attorney thing. Actually, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to not do that. I'm going to start with that. Because when I went back to work, I was so blessed to find a part-time attorney gig, which is nearly impossible. But I had found it because God had a plan for me. And it was a really unique opportunity. And I remember telling my friend, we raised our kids together. We're both stay-at-home moms. Her husband owns his own business. She has a lot of financial freedom. She's a wonderful lady, and we're very close today. But when I told her that I was taking this job, she lost it on me. Now, there were a lot of other things that were going on in that, but I remember distinctly her saying that I was selling out my kids or something along those lines. And it was the most horrifying conversation because it was emotional, and she was screaming at me and just couldn't believe I would actually leave my children to go work this job. Now, let me just tell you this. When I started doing that job, the amount of money I made barely covered the nanny. I wasn't in it for the money. Felt called to do it. And I'm so thankful to this day that I did that, because it led me to where I am today. But it cost me my friendship for many, many years, because there was so much judgment and so much a lack of empathy and understanding, and a lack of inquiry. Like, where is the inquiry? That's what I want to know. Like, where's the listening and the question asking? That's what I wanted to know. And I was so surprised that she felt so strongly about it. And yet I kind of wasn't, because several years earlier, and I know I've shared this before, but several years earlier, I had gotten a letter from my accountability partner who I had shared everything with. And she shredded my life. She was a homeschooler. She had very strict beliefs about how a mom should raise her kids, and this and that, and all the things. Oy vey. She shredded me because I had the audacity to go to the health club and take care of my body and drop my children off with somebody else. Yeah. For an hour a day, I got to go run and be free from my little people, my little humans who demanded everything of me because that's what they needed. And she judged me so harshly for that. Oh, I just remember my time as a stay-at-home mom feeling so inadequate, so judged, even within the stay-at-home mom community. So it's not about one side necessarily against another side. Sometimes it's infighting within the same kind of community. I couldn't schedule my kids' schedules well enough. I couldn't run my household well enough. I had struggled to plan my meals. I had undiagnosed ADHD that I didn't get diagnosed until 2010, after I went back to work. Thank God I went back to work so I could understand the way my beautiful, beautiful brain works. So sometimes it's the infighting even within the same mindset. But now let me flip the script. And I'm working. And I'm working as an attorney, as a family law attorney. Now this is where it got interesting, because now I'm on the other side. Now I'm that woman who dresses up, puts makeup on, showers, goes to work in an office, and leaves her children with somebody else. And I got to hear the vitriol, the judgment, the minimization, and the tisk-tisking of the working moms toward the stay-at-home moms. And the reason this came up so frequently in the office where I worked is because we did family law, and there were so many homemakers, women that they had made a decision with their partners that they would stay home because they couldn't make a lot of money to justify dropping their kids off in the stressful lifestyle that it was. And then when it came time to divorce, they had to figure out how to pick up the pieces and rebuild their beautiful lives. And so many women in the office and in this profession look down on women who don't work outside the home, because girl, I have been a stay-at-home mom and I have never worked harder in my life. You never, ever are off the clock. Yes, working moms, we do both, but there's never a break when you're a stay-at-home mom. And there was such a profound lack of understanding and kindness and compassion from the working moms towards the stay-at-home moms. It was like they were sellouts. They were lazy. They were low performers. They lacked ambition. Oh, it just hurts my heart so much. And as a family law practitioner, there are times when I have to get stern with women who are stay-at-home moms and need to get back into the workforce when they are rebuilding or trying to come out of a divorce situation. But that's different. That's different. It was the talk in the office of several women attorneys about their own clients. And it hurt my heart, because I'm sitting here listening to it going, I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years and you're saying all this to me. It just broke my heart. So these mommy wars, they're real. They are real and they are harmful and they hurt and they keep us stuck, so stuck. Because the thing is, we're not just stuck because someone's judging us. We're stuck in our own minds. We're stuck in our own souls. And we don't feel like we can completely flourish in any form or fashion. It's Motherhood May, sisters. We want to be free. We want to let down our guard. We want to be the kind of mom that we were designed to be. I would give anything to go back to when Chloe was little and chuck Baby Wise and throw out the crappy books and get rid of the blanket time and all the crap that other women would tell me. This is the way you do it. This is how you raise your children. This is how you should breastfeed. You should make your own baby food. It's exhausting. It's exhausting, and it sucks the joy right out of you. Being a mama is the best job I've ever had, and I missed so much of it over the years because I was either in one camp or in the other, and even in those camps, I felt inadequate. At Girl Out of Order, we talk a lot about feeling like you're too much and yet never, ever, ever enough. And it needs to stop. The ceasefire needs to happen because we want to raise up a community of women that listen, that lean in, and that learn from one another, because we mamas have a collective wisdom that can change the freaking world. So what are we doing? Tearing one another down. Why? Why are we doing that? We have so much in common, sisters. So much in common. We are all just doing our best. We are just doing our best with what we have to offer our beautiful babies. I tell women, God chose you to be that child's mom. Nobody else fit the bill, just you. And so what Jane says, or what Susan says, or what Callie says, or Kennedy says, or who gives a crap what other women say about how you raise your babies? Yes, we can seek wisdom. We can seek input. But the really important word there is seek, not have it forced fed down our throats. Comparison in Mommyville is a killer. And these mommy wars are crushing to the soul. I, as a stay-at-home mom, often felt inadequate. I, as a working mom, often felt inadequate. It's a lose-lose situation. Why are we perpetuating this? Why don't we raise our sisters up and be like, get it, girl. You're doing amazing. That's incredible. How can I support you? That's how we end the mommy wars. I was in church today, and our pastor was talking about the church and trying to, look at the richness and diversity of the church and what makes the church one. It was such a beautiful sermon today. And I've never heard this, maybe you have, but it was new to me. When we talk about community, because at Girl Out of Order, remember we have those 3 pillars: cultivating bravery to pursue your truest identity and embrace your truest self. Inspiring boldness to live a bold, beautiful life, confident in who you are. And the last one is to build bridges among all women. We want to build community. And the preacher today talked about, if you look at the word community, it's common unity. Common unity. Because if women would stop and look at what they have in common, we have so much more in common than we do that divides us. And if we just stop shouting from our corners and we move to the middle and open our ears and our hearts and our arms and embrace one another, we will build common unity and we'll be so much stronger together. So how? How do we do this? I got 5 steps for this. 5 steps. I love the number 5. You're going to hear a lot of that on Girl Out of Order, so get used to it. The first step is wake up. Wake the hell up, sisters. Pay attention. Look around. Observe what is going on. If you don't pay attention and you're not observing, you can't be the change. Complicity or silence is complicity. And I would build on that and say lack of awareness is complicity, because all you have to do is pay attention. When you go to field day and you see a young mama and she's trying to be there for her 3rd grader and she's got her preschooler hanging off of her and she's trying to breastfeed her baby, offer to help. Don't sit in judgment. Pay attention. Pay attention. Just acknowledge her, right? Look around. Notice the problem. So wake up. Number 2, step up. That mama who's sitting there struggling, you can tell when a woman is struggling. So step up for her. And here's the thing. This doesn't mean reaching out to her. It means step up when you hear other people saying something. You step up and you speak out. I guess I'm combining a couple, so bear with me here. But step up. Be the change agent. Volunteer to be a community liaison between women that work and between women that don't. Just take action. Be proactive. Talk to the women at the bus stop. Engage in conversations. Listen. And importantly, step up for yourself. Step up for you. Your babies will benefit. And you will benefit. You'll be so much more fulfilled. Step up, learn, study, grow, work on yourself, work on your self-worth. That's how you step up. Number 3, reach out. Okay, those moms at the bus stop, the ones that are dressed up like they're going to an office, hint, hint, they're going to an office. And if you're a stay-at-home mom, stick your hand out, introduce yourself, ask them what they do. Where do you work? That's so amazing. Start conversations. It won't kill you. And if you're that working mom and you see that harried stay-at-home mom like in Bad Moms when she's got spit up all over her and she's struggling, reach out to her. Ask her if she's okay. Let her know that you're just a phone call away. You don't have to have the same viewpoints to build common unity. Number 4, speak out. That's what I'm doing. This is a different kind of motherhood May here, because you know what? I'm tired of watching it happen. I'm tired of hearing the noise, and I'm going to speak out because we have to get a ceasefire. Mamas, let's come together. We all just want what's best for our children, and we're doing the best that we can. I've got sisters-in-law, and we all raise our children very differently. And there are times when it's like, I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't seem like that's working real well. And I have to stop myself and I have to speak out and be like, I love you. You're doing a great job. And ask questions. That goes back to reach out, speak out. They're kind of in the same camp. But ask questions, inquire. And the really important time to speak out is when you hear other mothers bashing one another. Get your boldness on, sisters. Be brave. Step up and speak out. If you hear other mothers tearing one another down or standing in judgment because she's still nursing her 2 or 3-year-old, what is it your business? Why do you care? Build her up. Be glad she's confident enough in her body and she knows what her body can provide for her child. And even though it isn't your jam and you've bottle fed from day one, who cares? Who cares? Be more focused on building common unity, building a community, and be bold to speak out because you can be that change. You can be that agent to help this ceasefire happen in your community, in your family, in your schools. And hey, maybe, just maybe in the world, because you think those mothers in Africa aren't raising their children different than they are in Los Angeles. Hell yes, they are. Who cares? We're all doing our best. And then my last tip, welcome in. Welcome women into your tribe, into your circle, into conversations that you don't agree with. If there's a mama out there doing things differently than you, be welcoming. Invite her to the ice cream social. Invite her to the play date. Invite her to be on a committee. Welcome women in with different perspectives, because here's a little tip for you. You might just learn something. You might find a tool that you would want to put in your toolbox. And even if you don't change each other's minds, you will be better for it, because when we spread love and we spread kindness, we build common unity and the ceasefire happens. Told my daughters since they were little, put that jar over that candle and watch what happens. You put the jar over the candle, it starves that flame of oxygen, and lo and behold, whoosh, that flame goes out. So welcome women in. And if you have backbiting sisters in your circle, bye. Remove yourself and welcome yourself into circles that are more welcoming, more affirming, more uplifting, and call you to a higher standard. You want to be around women who are going where you want to go. And if you're hanging around with backbiting, judgy women that are tearing other mothers down, get them out of your life. Excise them. Excise them like the tumors they are, because they will not help you build common unity. And even if it's hard, and even if it's lonely, and even if it takes courage, do it anyway. The world needs more love. The world needs mamas that will come together. Listen, I have been on so many different sides of so many different issues. There is deeply held passion and beliefs on most sides of an issue. But that doesn't mean there can't be love and listening and lightness and laughter and common unity. So will you wake up today? Will you step up for yourself, your own self-worth, for your other sisters? Will you reach out to women that you've now noticed might be hurting or might be crushed under the weight of judgment of others or themselves? Will you speak out when you hear injustice and cruelty and unkindness? Will you be that voice, that advocate, to say, ceasefire, enough. This isn't serving anybody. Most importantly, not our children. And lastly, sisters, will you be that mama who welcomes other mamas in? Today, I was on my deck, and our next door neighbor, they have an 18-month-old. And oh my gosh, she's beautiful, precious. And I don't have anything really in common so much anymore with this woman. And you know what I did? I went over there, got to say hi to this beautiful little baby, and I invited her to bring her over to swim this summer in our pool. And I really hope she takes me up on it because she's raising her child in a different time than when I raised mine. And I could learn a lot from her because you know what? I know after having 4 daughters, I'm going to be a grandma. Gigi, by the way, not grandma, just so you know. I am already Gigi to my granddog, so I've claimed that name. But I want to learn. I want to learn what her mindset is. I want to learn what her challenges are. I want to listen and hear what is it like to raise a baby today in 2024? Because my youngest is 17 and I'm going to take notes because I welcomed her in. I've reached out and I want to listen. Will you build common unity today? Will you be that change this world desperately needs? You will be changed, transformed, and enhanced as a mama. And importantly, your children are watching how you interact with other moms. They're taking notes whether you realize it or not. So be the kind of woman, the kind of human that you want your children to grow into and build common unity. Then the mommy wars, be a thing of the past. We're in this together as a tribe of girls out of order. Join me next week when we tackle the topic of mother wounds. I know this is a different kind of motherhood May so far. These are serious topics. But next week, mother wounds is a really important topic because Mother's Day isn't a picnic for everybody. It can cause a lot of trauma. And we're going to tackle that topic and give you some tangible tools that you can take to reflect on and work on any mother wounds you have or help people you know who are dealing with that very serious issue. I love you all so much. I cannot wait to see you next week. Have a beautiful week.